We decided going in, it's like, we should make everything in the game unique. And we really strive to do that. And I think we have over 2,200 models in the game now. We found the original renders of all of the cinematics that were at 1080p already. And so we were able to up-res those and recompress them. So you're going to see the pre-rendered cinematics way better than you've ever seen them before.
One of the people who pre-ordered the game, not Denunci, but me, Wisa. And the reason why is I was such a huge fan of Warcraft III, specifically the story campaigns. Now, who can forget the timeless tale of the rise and fall of Arthas? Or the heroic moments of Thrall? Now, let's not forget the custom maps that were made because of the extremely flexible world editor. When Blizzard announced in BlizzCon 2018 that they were remaking Warcraft 3, the fans, including myself, became very excited to say the least. Of course, there was this power nostalgia factor where I wanted to experience the same things that I've experienced as a kid. I wanted to be part of that live world again, to be able to play, literally be part of the story of Warcraft 3, and this time I was expecting a much better version than the original game. I even remember a note in the pre-order page of Warcraft 3 Reforged which said that the game is slated to be released by December 31, 2019. But come December 31, 2019, there were no updates of any such release. I wasn't even bothered back then because I thought, well, it's Blizzard. They probably know what they're doing or what. And then a month after, or less than a month after, the game releases. Now, when I look back at what happened, there was no marketing hype at all. Nothing. If you check out their Warcraft YouTube channel, there are video trailers spaced 1 year apart. So I decided to check out their Blizzard YouTube, hoping that perhaps they would have any updates on the game. And lo and behold, the only update that I found was this 3-minute video about Warcraft 3 Reforged from BlizzCon 2019. So in this video, they talk about making unique points in the game with roughly around 2,200 new models. Pre-rendered cinematics should also be much better than the original game. The interviewer in the video, who was able to test the beta, even said,
"When I got to play the beta 4 days ago, I realized it feels exactly the same. Any differences would be like, okay, the unit now looks a little different, I need to get used to that."
And my gosh, was he right all along. Now, in one of the interviews back in 2018, and I quote, Blizzard describes Warcraft 3 Reforged as a complete reimagining of its real-time strategy classic, which is probably the best way of explaining what it's doing with a 16-year-old game. Part remaster, part rebalancing, part retcon, Reforged will be a major upgrade for the game that won't leave players of the original behind. Now let's just see about that. Let's first talk about the issues plaguing Warcraft 3 Reforged. So on one side, we have automatically losing after finishing a certain section of the campaign. And the second one is unplayable sections due to crashes and high pings, resulting in awful lags. We also have the unintuitive and buggy UI, and the level design and colors are very much watered down. As you can see in the video right now, the original version is much better than the 2020 version of Warcraft 3. You barely see any details of the land nor the trees anymore, which is pretty odd considering that this is supposed to be a remake of the original game, right? And to top it all off, animations have been copy-pasted and poorly rendered. Now, features such as the competitive ladder and the custom campaigns have completely been removed from the game. Now, next is the opening cinematic, which is the only enhancement made. Some were enhanced, but vary so slightly that it is contrary to what Blizzard advertised as 4+ hours of reforged in-game cutscenes. One of the most glaring issues is the culling campaign trailer as shown in the video right now, where you see the zoomed in expressions of the characters. But the actual Reforged version is zoomed out, removing all of these expressions, plus the promise of a better gameplay experience. I'll leave the link of the comparison video in the description below. To make matters much worse, the new client was merged with the old one. So what happened was, people who did not purchase the Reforged edition had to download this 20 plus gigabyte worth of data and play the new client. So their Warcraft 3 directory was also deleted, which resulted in older features not working anymore. Now, if only Blizzard retained the previous client, the uproar probably wouldn't be this loud, because people will still be able to play the game before this huge update. Okay, now on top of these bugs and incompetent decision making, Blizzard also updated their terms of service. So now we have Blizzard's custom games. It states that you hereby assign to Blizzard all of your rights, title, and interest in and to all custom games, including but not limited to any copyrights in the content of any custom games. If for any reason you are prevented or restricted from assigning any rights in the custom games to Blizzard, you grant to Blizzard an exclusive, perpetual, worldwide, unconditional, royalty-free, irrevocable license, enabling Blizzard to fully exploit the custom games or any component thereof for any purpose and in any manner whatsoever. So what this means is all of the custom maps you create is now owned entirely by Blizzard. So they can do anything with those maps. If they deem those as not in accordance with their policies, they will just remove it. Before the update, there was a similar ownership clause in Blizzard's terms of service. And it states that Blizzard is the owner or licensee of all right, title, and interest in and to the platform, meaning all of Blizzard's games and services, including the games that are produced and developed by Blizzard, Blizzard Games, custom games derived from a Blizzard game, accounts, and all of the features and components thereof. The platform may contain materials licensed by third parties to Blizzard, and these third parties may enforce their ownership rights against you in the event that you violate this agreement. Playing the devil's advocate here, Blizzard is mainly protecting the rights. They made the game, so they own every part of it. Now, these ownership rights have been in effect, and I actually lifted the statement from back in June 2018. But the difference with the version now is it's more succinct. There's more detail of what happens once you contribute any part of the custom map in the new Warcraft III Reforged. The probable reason why the community is angered with this TOS update is that Warcraft III Reforged is a terrible product. There's also the commercial exploitation of custom games as part of the TOS update, which states that unless otherwise authorized by Blizzard in writing, custom game developers cannot develop custom games for profit. Now, this is Blizzard probably alluding to the Dota incident years back and preventing any such cases from happening again. Now, of course, with all of this fiasco, people started asking for refunds. Okay, some were granted said refunds while others are not. So one Reddit user, Chaos General, wrote that I have been attempting to play Warcraft III Reforged since it came out. I have managed to play a few prologue missions and 2 or 3 full versus matches without crashing. Extremely unhappy, I decided to refund the game, as is my legal right under Australia consumer law. The automated process was instantly denied due to too much playtime, so I appealed to the live chat. Right from the get-go, it did not go well. Apparently, all purchases are final, but they can still offer refunds if they want to. Okay, so what happened was the agent didn't grant Chaos General with said refund. And instead, what the agent did was Here she argued with this Reddit user stating that the product and the company are US based, so therefore, said consumer laws do not apply. As a result, Chaos General issued a legal notice to Blizzard. Now I think Blizzard should be lenient with their refund policy. They created such an awful product that it resulted in an uproar of the Warcraft community and all of the fans of the original game because they can no longer play it even if they did not purchase Reforged. Now at this point, it's the least of what Blizzard can do because, let's face it guys, $30 is no joke. They delivered a poor product, so it follows that they should own up to their mistakes. So with the issues, TOS update, consumer laws being used against Blizzard, it's pretty obvious that the Blizzard we once knew and loved is no longer here. Warcraft III Reforged is supposed to be the game that gave Blizzard a bit of redemption, but they managed to screw it all up because of false advertisements and under-promises. Because of the fiasco, I will most probably request for a refund. It's also worth noting that when Diablo 4 comes out, it might be best to just step back and wait for the reports to say something good about the game before jumping into it. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I'll see you next week for more game news, as this Saturday I'm planning to release the Darksiders Genesis review. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great week ahead.